Right, part 2 of this is just a simple performance test. Now, we could go up and down and get the optimum figures from the cars, but it seems to me that real-world performance is about what you can do given one chance. I've got one chance in each car. I'm in the Skyline, I've got my drift box sorted out, that's going to give me 0 to 60, 0 to 100, and would I want it, 0 to 100 to 0, but I don't. So, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, Skyline. To achieve your optimum standing start in the Skyline R35, you have your transmission set to race mode, your dampers set to race mode, and your traction control off. Now what we do is put my left foot on the brake, right foot on the throttle. What it'll do is it'll build up to 4,000 RPM and then it'll do the lot for me, so I'm told. Give it a go. That is impressive. That is very, very impressive. Right, what do we got? Here we go. 0 to 60 in 3.8, 0 to 100 in 8.5. First time out. If ever you want a graphic demonstration of what these trick transmissions will do, and it'll do that every single time. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter whether I'm feeling a bit off colour. All I've got to do is pull this little lever here on the right, the steering wheel, and it'll replicate that every single time. No juggling with clutch, no cocking about. I love these transmissions. The M3 is a more analogue experience. I have got a few bits and bobs I need to do first. I want the shorter throttle, because that's a bit easier when you're going quick. I'm going to leave the dampers in soft, because that means we've got a bit more traction. I'm going to turn the traction off, because I think it won't be that helpful. Anyhow, so I've got one chance at this. Let's see what it'll do. I've got massive wheel spin in second gear, so let's just see where we go. I got 0 to 60 in 5.2 on my slightly worn rubber, and I got 0 to 100 in 11.2. Now what I don't want to do is make a statement that says that the new E92 M3 will only do 0 to 100 in 11.2 seconds. It'll go a lot quicker than that. I had heaps of wheel spin in second because the tyres aren't the best on this car. But even so, what you need to know is that if you want that on-demand performance, if you want to just accelerate as fast as you can in a Skyline, it's going to do 0 to 100 in 8 and a bit seconds. You do it in M3, you'll be lucky if you do it in 10 and a half, unless you get everything right, absolutely everything. Some people find that a wonderful challenge. Others might just say that the Skylines move the game on a bit. The Porsche. What are we going to do here? Have a look down here. Buttons, 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 buttons. We're going to have the traction control off. We're going to have the sport button on because that gives us a bit more torque. We'll leave the dampers soft because softer rear means more traction. First gear, well, they've got quite a bit of traction these, so let's go, I don't know, 4 and a bit, dump the clutch, see what it'll do. Third, that's got to be around about 100, hasn't it? There you go then, one off. Because the Porsche's got so much more traction, this is interesting. 4.7 to 60 and 9.6 to 100. So yeah, I've not got it perfect off the line. I had too much wheel spin. I think you could shave probably 3 or 4 tenths away from that 60 time. But the moment I got second, God, it's just gone. Whoosh, traction, a 305 section rear sticky cup tyre, and loads of torque, and it's flown away. Whereas the M3 was just left with no traction whatsoever. And 9.6 to 100 we said, 9.6 to 100, it's pretty impressive, but it's still 1.1 seconds behind the Skyline, and you'll need to be on top of your game and extract all that power at the top end. So it beats a 997 turbo, and for want of a better phrase, it thrashes the M3. I feel good about the fact that I bought an M3 now, as you can imagine. But does it beat the 911 GT3? I'm going to call it a dead heat. I know that's a cop-out, but there are reasons for it. Let me tell you why. Each does things the other one can't do. The 911 is much more interactive. It really comes at you. Whereas the Skyline, it just does everything for you. It's just the most competent, brutally competent road car I've ever driven. So what we're saying is, a car car made by a company that used to be called Datsun is as good as the best 911 ever made. Pretty good, isn't it? The story of Lotus's fortunes is a classic roller coaster. One minute they've got zillions of pounds, loads of engineering products, and they're selling lots of cars. The next minute they've got no money at all, and all their engineers are becoming delivery drivers to make sure they don't get made redundant. But for the first time in ages, I really feel that there is a great future for Lotus. They embody the type of technology that the whole industry needs to adopt if it's going to have a future for this kind of vehicle.